Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Rosa Maria. Today I have a really easy and simplest sewing project, and we're going to learn how to make a freestyle bag. It's very simple. As you can see, this is what the back looks like, and it has adjustable straps. There's no zippers and there's no pockets, so it makes it easier. You just have the fabric and the lining, and of course learning how to make any adjustable strap for your bag. So this is what it looks like, and when you open it up, this is what it looks like inside there. So as I mentioned, there is no zippers, there's no pockets. Very simple project. So grab all your tools and your materials and let's get started on this sewing project. What you're going to be needing for this project is fabric of your choice, lining of your choice, whatever color you prefer. You want usually something that coordinates with your fabric. You can use a pair of scissors or rotary cutter to cut out your fabric, a friction pen, some sewing pins, and some fabric clips, 2 D-rings, and of course a swivel hook, 2, and these are buckle sliders, just 1, a measuring tape, and also you're going to be needing some webbing. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Rosa Maria. Today I have a really easy and simplest sewing project, and we're going to learn how to make a freestyle bag. It's very simple. As you can see, this is what the back looks like, and it has adjustable straps. There's no zippers and there's no pockets, so it makes it easier. You just have the fabric and the lining, and of course learning how to make any adjustable strap for your bag. So this is what it looks like, and when you open it up, this is what it looks like inside there. So as I mentioned, there is no zippers, there's no pockets. Very simple project. So grab all your tools and your materials and let's get started on this sewing project. First, you need to cut out 2 pieces of fabric, and this is, of course, is a fabric you selected. And you, again, as I mentioned, you're going to be cutting 2 pieces. And the size you're going to be cutting these 2 pieces is, of course, is 32 centimeters by 47 centimeters. And if you're using inches, of course, we're going to be using 18 and a half inches. And this is going to be by 12 and 5/8 inches. So once you cut those 2 pieces out, we're going to move this to the side, and then the next piece you're going to need to cut is your lining. And this is only 1 piece. So it's going to be a very long 1-piece lining here. It's very long. So the size you need to cut for this lining is, of course, the size is very long, so it's going to be 36 1/4 inches by 12 and 5/8 inches. So if you're going to be using centimeters, of course, it's going to be 92 centimeters by 32 centimeters. So the next step you need to cut is 2 pieces of fabric, and this is going to be for the tab. And of course, the size is going to be 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And inches would be 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. So once you have that taken care of, then we are going to start our project. Now we're going to fold our fabric in half. As you can see here, I'm folding it in half. I'm going to take my iron and give it a good press. Once I give it a good press, I will use that fold that the iron created as my guide to refold and align this piece. I'm going to take my iron again and then give it a good press. And then do the same thing to the other side. Fold it, use that fold guide as your guide and fold it. Take your iron and give it a good press. Okay, so once that's done pressing, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 folds. I'm just gonna fold and fold, and then refold again. And then I'm gonna take my iron and making sure I don't burn myself and give it a good press. Okay. Once you have given it a good press, you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. You're gonna give it a good press, and then we're gonna take it to the sewing machine, and then we are going to top stitch here on this side and also on this side. And you're gonna do the same thing to both of these tabs. So let's head over to the sewing machine. So I'm here at the sewing machine, and then we're gonna start to top stitch. As you can see, I'm working on the side where we have an opening, and start to stitch. Now I'm going to top stitch here on this side of the tab. As you can see, we're done, and I also finished the second tab. Let's go to the next step. You can see both tabs have been stitched on both sides here. And now I'm going to fold here and then take my fabric clip for both of them and just make sure I secure them. And then I'm going to put them aside. Now we're going to take our lining piece. So make sure that you fold your lining piece in half. As you can see, I have it here. And where we have the fold, you are going to create a little template. And here the size I have here is, of course, 3 centimeters going across and 2 centimeters going down. And if you're using inches, of course, is 1 3/16 going across and 3/4 going down. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to take my friction pen. I'm going to line the template here on the corner and use my pen here to outline the template. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to line it on the corner, mark it, and once I have both sides marked, I'm going to take my pair of scissors and I'm going to trim off the corners. And work on the second one here. So both of these corners, as you can see, are trimmed off. Now I'm gonna put this to the side and work on the next step. Okay, now we are gonna take 2 pieces of our fabric, as you can see here, and I'm just gonna place 2 small sewing pins here to kind of secure both of them, because I have them aligned nicely and secure. Let me take another sewing pin. That one was not working. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, all right. You're gonna create another template, but this template will be size 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So it's gonna be 1 3/16 inches by 1 3/16 inches. And then I'm gonna, of course, make sure that you have the corners, everything aligned. And then I'm going to center here in the corner, use my friction pen to outline the template on both corners. This one, let me just redo it again because okay. So once those two corners, as you can see here, we already have it marked out. I'm going to take my pair of scissors and cut out the corners that we outline. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this side over here. So once you cut those two corners out, then we're going to move on to the next step. So next, we're going to remove the fabric clip, and then we're going to use our D-rings. These are size 1 inch, and then we're going to place them in. And of course, I'm going to take the fabric clips to secure it while I work on the other one, and do the same thing. Insert it. And this is what it looks like. But then we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and what you're going to do is you're going to stitch across on both of them to secure the D-ring and the tab. So go ahead and stitch across there. As you can see, we finished stitching on top here. Now it secures the D-ring. Now I'm going to put these two pieces aside. I'm going to take one of my fabric piece and just have it here line up here, and then I'm gonna take my measuring tape, and then I'm going to now I'm going to take my measuring tape and line it over here. So it's going to be, of course, over here I have here 16 centimeters, and if you're using inches, it's going to be 6 1/4 inches. Again, 16 centimeters and 6 1/4 inches. So from here to here and from here to here. So now I'm gonna take my tab and I'm gonna place it above the mark that I made here. And of course, I'm gonna take my fabric clip to secure it there. And then I'm gonna take the other tab with a D-ring, and I'm going to place it the same way, making sure that is aligned, is above the little line there of 16 that we created. And then again, I'm going to take my fabric clip to secure it. So make sure that the D-rings are facing in, and then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and then stitch across back and forth here just to secure the tab onto the fabric. So let's head on to the sewing machine. Now we're going to start to stitch the tab onto the fabric on this side. Back stitch. And then this is my last one going over. And then we're done. So as you can see, the tabs are stitched on both ends of the fabric. Now that that is completed, we're going to take our other piece of fabric and we're going to make sure the printed side is facing down. Once you align it carefully, then you're going to take your fabric clips and you're going to secure both fabrics together. So once you finish clipping the fabrics, we're going to take it to a sewing machine. So we're going to be sewing from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here. And of course, we're going to leave these two sections open. So we're going to be sewing about 1 centimeter, so it's about 1/8 inch. So let's head over to the sewing machine. I'm going to start to sew. As I mentioned, it's about 1 centimeter for the seam allowance, and that's going to be 3/8. So you can see we finished stitching on all 3 sides of the fabric. Now we're going to create little box corners. So open up your seams here, and hopefully you can see here in the camera. Make sure that the seams here and seams are together. They're aligned. And once you have that done, you're going to take your sewing pins. Let me get a good one here to secure that. And then do the same thing to the other side to create a box corner. Of course, you're going to open up the seams for one side and the other seam and the other side. And then you're going to line them up together, both seams together. And when you do that, and the seams are open, let me just open it up a little bit. Okay. Then again, take your sewing pin and secure it together. So once you have that secure, we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and then we are going to stitch across. Again, we're going to stitch about 1 centimeters, and that is 3/8 inches on both sides. So let's go to the sewing machine and stitch those corners. Okay, we're here at the sewing machine, and then we are going to start to sew. Then remove the sewing pin, back stitch, and you're going to do the same thing to the other side of the box corner too. As you can see, we finished stitching and we created the box corner on both ends. And now I'm going to turn the fabric inside out. And you see the corners. This is what it looks like. And this is what it looks like over here. So now that we have done this fabric piece, now we're going to go and move on to the lining piece. So we have here the lining piece, as you can see. And again, you can use your fabric clips or your sewing pins. I'm going to use my sewing pins this time, and then I'm going to start to pin. So pin all the way down here, and then the same thing, pin all the way down here. And as I mentioned, we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and we are going to be using seam allowance 1 centimeters going down here. That is 3/8 inches, and the same thing here on the side. We're going to stitch all the way down 1 centimeters and 3/8. So let's go and take it to the sewing machine. We're here at the sewing machine, and I'm going to start to sew. Now we're going to sew the other side. As you can see, we finished stitching both sides. And again, we are going to create those box corners like we did with the fabric. Again, open up the seams. And since we don't need to open up the seam in this side, just make sure that this is aligned. And I'm going to take my fabric clip and just clip this here. And then turn to the other side and do the same thing. Open it up, the seams, and take the fabric clip and there. And again, we're going to stitch across on both sides. Let me just fix this here. just turn this around. And then this side we're gonna stitch across. So let's go to the sewing machine and take care of that. So we're here in the sewing machine and we're gonna start to sew. Back stitch. And you're gonna do the same thing to the other corner of the lining. So as you can see, both of the corners here of the lining has been stitched. So we created a nice little box corner. Now, we're gonna take our fabric piece. I'm gonna turn it inside out. And then I'm going to turn my lining piece inside out. Now, I'm going to insert my lining inside here. And while doing that, we need to align both of these seams here and open up the seam here and align with this. Open it up. Make sure that it's aligned and everything is even. And I'm going to take my sewing pin to secure that. Let me just twirl the other way around. Okay, this way better for me. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side here. We're going to align, open up these seams and take this seam, open up here also, and align these two together. Make sure it's even and take your sewing pin and secure that down. And then the most important thing is we need to leave an opening. So what we're going to do is I'm going to place 2 sewing pins here, and you're going to leave the opening about 4 inches. On this side, and then I'm going to continue to pin here to make sure the fabric stays together, nothing shifts, nothing moves. Okay, and then we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and then we are going to stitch all around here. Remember, this stays open. We're going to go all around until we get to this, to set this area here and leave it open. So let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, I'm here in the sewing machine and I'm starting at this end here first. And I'm going to start to sew. And I'm going to continue. Okay. Now we're coming to the pin over here and we're going to stop. This is where we end, and then we back stitch. Okay. So as you can see here, we finished stitching around. We left the opening, and now I'm going to do is first pull the lining out first and then work my way to push everything through. I'm going to put my hands through here because I want to make sure that the corners here and here are open. And now I'm going to work on the lining, making sure everything is in the bag here. Okay, So now we have to align the bag. Okay, so now we're going to be closing the opening here. And I'm going to use my, of course, my fabric clips. So I'm just going to start here at this end first. And then I'm going to use my fingers to use the fabric clips to kind of keep it even. You can use an iron too to smooth it out, but I'm going to use my finger for this. And you're going to start putting your fabric pins all around. Okay, so once you finish adding all the fabric clips around, we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and then we are going to stitch all around to close, especially the opening. So let's go to the sewing machine and start sewing. Okay, now we're here at the sewing machine, and then we are going to start to sew. Back stitch. As you can see, we finished stitching all around, and now that it's done, this is what it looks like. It's kind of folded like this. It's cute. This is how it's supposed to be looking. And then next we're going to be working on how to make the adjustable strap. Our final step, we're going to learn how to create an adjustable strap. So the things you're going to be needing is a webbing. And this size is 1 inch, that's 2.5 centimeters. And the length that you need to cut your webbing is 51 1/8 inches, and that's gonna be 130 centimeters. So once you cut out these webbings according to the size that you prefer, you do that. And then the sliding buckle here, we're gonna be using, this sliding buckle is 1 inch. So that is 2.5 centimeters. And we're going to be using the sliding buckle. As you can see here, this is the front and this is the back. So we want to make sure that we are working with the front. So we're going to take our end of our webbing. And as you can see here, we are going to pass it through here first. Okay. And once we pass it through there, we're going to pass it through the other side over here. Oh, goodness sake. Okay. All right. And then it should look like this. See how it is in the back? And this is how it is in the front. So we're going to fold this here. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this again here. And the reason why we're folding is because we're going to take it to the sewing machine. And then we're going to stitch across. So let's go to the sewing machine, and then I'll show you how to stitch across. And make sure that this, of course, is a little bit thicker, but I usually press it down a little bit so it makes it easier to pass it through the sewing machine. So let's go. We're here in the sewing machine. I adjust my stitch length, and then I'm going to start to sew. We're done. Of course, you can use a black thread so you don't see the stitches. I'm using the white thread for tutorial purpose so you can see that you can create a nice straight line. Look at the back also. So this is what it looks like. Now, the next step is we're gonna do is we're gonna take our swivel hooks. This is 1 inch and this is 2.5 centimeters. Make sure that you keep, this is where we stitch. As you can see here, that's the bottom. Okay. And then we just want to make sure that the webbing is straight. And then we're going to take, of course, one of our hooks and we're going to slide it. Okay. All right. So once we have done that, okay, just want to make sure that it's even, is slide, and then we are going to take, okay, one of this, as you can see over here, we're going to string it through, and then we're going to put it right through again. Okay. And then see how everything moves. Sorry about that, my cat wants to be in the camera here, so I'm keeping my cat there. So you see how it moves? Okay, so once you slide, because this helps to slide the length that you want the strap, and keep everything straight. Once you have everything straight, then you're gonna go here to this end, and then of course you're gonna put it through, and then I'm gonna refold this. Again, use your lighter because it will help the material from shredding and moving. Not moving, but shredding. Then we're gonna fold this and then have it here aligned over here. Okay, make sure. And then we're gonna take it to the sewing machine, and then we are going to stitch across. Back here at the sewing machine, and I'm gonna start to sew. Okay, as you can see, it's stitched. So as you can see, we finished stitching. And now that is done, we're gonna take, of course, our bag, and then we are going to just attach the hooks. And there it is, we have the hooks attached to the tabs. So we just finished our sewing project. I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Also share with your friends and your family. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and also click on the bell. And when you click on the bell, YouTube will also notify you every time I upload a new video. And in the description box below, I listed all the tools and materials that you need, and also the measurements, and also a link where you can purchase these items and materials. So until next time, have a good one. Bye.